We're presenting for the small screen, and coming up in the next 7 minutes, I'm going to talk about repeatable messaging. How can you get engagement? How do you make stories be memorable? And how do you connect so that people are actually going to walk away and repeat what they've heard? So this is one of the key reasons that we do what we do. We want to get a message out to our audience with really great impact. And we know that there's great impact when people go and repeat that message. So repeatability should really be the thing. Now, in many instances, people have been talking about storytelling as the absolute beginning and ending of everything. And I think it is true. While it is true that storytelling builds better engagement, you have to be careful about how you go about doing it. It's true that stories build empathy. It's true that stories make a connection. It's true that they make things memorable, and it's really true that they could help you to get your message to be repeatable. But the proviso sits there at the top: when they are well told. I want to take you back to that famous word that was around for the last, probably about 8-9 years ago it started. It's innovation. Companies were being so innovative that they could just put the word innovation on a screen somewhere on a billboard, and that would immediately make them magically be innovative. I think in many ways people use storytelling as that same silver bullet, and I think that it really is that proviso to say, come back to making it really good storytelling, to understand what it is that really make up the dynamics of a good story. And so I want to share those 4 ideas with you in a little bit more detail right now. So the first one is really at the heart of storytelling. What is it that's there? It is this idea to build empathy. When you can have characters or stories and situations that become relatable to your audience, they immediately have a deeper grasp or a deeper understanding for what it is that you're talking about. So see if there's a way that you can make your product be the hero, or your product bring something to a client who is having some difficulty and how it resolved or improved their lives. Because the moment that you can do that, there's a story, there's a connection, and there's a deeper understanding of what it is that you're trying to do. In the same way, this connection goes deeper when that experience has some kind of a hero in the story that we can relate to. Nobody really roots for the underdog so much. In stories, you have to work a lot harder to make an audience connect with the underdog. It's easier to get people to like the hero, and it's easy to paint a picture in broad strokes so that it's a likable character. See if you can bring likable characters into your stories that are heroes, and if it's your product, or anything but yourself, so that it doesn't seem too egotistical, you're probably going to be on a winning streak. Now, when it comes to memorability, usually it's a good idea to have some form of sequence of events. If I say to you that there are 3 things that you should do, and this is the first one, this is the second one, and the third one to make some change in your life or bring about some kind of impact, you're going to remember it because it is a sequence. And also keep in mind that people remember things in 3s better than 4s or 5s, and definitely not 7s. So you want to get to come down to the essence of what your message is. Try and build a little sequence so that it is memorable, because that sequence will become repeatable. The last thing in this is to work with repeatability. Somebody is more likely to tell others about a story when they can make a connection with this material. And I think for me, this comes down to probably working with your audience profile and really understanding your audience, or seeing your audience out there. Don't talk about our industry and we in the business do this. Talk about you and me. We make it personal, because that way it comes back to being something that it is about Nicola and it is about Phyllis. And because of that, the connection is far truer, because I'm speaking to somebody I can see in front of me right now in my mind's eye. And here is the end of the day, a whole string of dominoes, a whole lot of things that you have to get right before this is really going to be fine-tuned. But I would say to you, try and test your material, see if you can make adjustments, get feedback, take a look at how people respond to news stories that you tell. And if there's one thing that I can pin on the board for you, then it would be this idea to really work with empathy. See how you can work with empathy and tangible emotions that you can create for your audiences with real beats that you design and what it is that you tell so that they can go and retell about this fantastic thing they've heard.